In October of my first year at college, this occurred. Because I spent some time in the residence halls, I feel required to give you a little explanation of how things operate there. Each level has its own key card that can be used to lock it off from the rest of the building. Due to a sports injury, I was instructed to rest, which meant I couldn't attend any Halloween parties. Sad, but I kept myself occupied by helping others get ready for Halloween by crafting costumes and putting on their makeup. After I was finished, I cleaned up, put away my makeup, and got comfortable in front of my laptop to watch some movies. I walked to my room and passed a stranger in the hallway. He had seen my makeup work, and he said he was impressed by it. We had a conversation for a while, after which we exchanged email addresses, and I told him I was going inside my room. The very first thing that should have tipped me off was the fact that he came into my bedroom after I had already informed him of my plan to do so, feeling extremely uncomfortable. I sought to tell him to go in a manner that was not directly confrontational. On the other hand, it appeared that he was missing the point. I was forced to inform him, "You have to exit my room." My first thought was that he was drunk, although it did cross my mind to wonder how he had managed to find his way to my floor in the first place, because I had never seen him before. I started watching some Halloween movies, and just before I went to sleep, I went ahead and checked my email one last time and found that the stranger had sent me 5 messages. The first said, "Hello, I'm so glad we're mates." After that, a few days later, as I was studying in my room, I heard someone knocking on the door. It was, in fact, him. I pretended I was studying and had to stay silent and alone for school. Again, he tried to get into my room, but I firmly told him that I had to study, and I put my arm against the doorframe. He returned to knock on my door the following day, as well as the day after that, and the day after that. I acted as if I was not at home and began avoiding him as much as possible. The following time there was a knock at the door. I looked through the peephole to see if someone was there, but didn't see anyone, so I believed it was just the mailman. When I answered the door, the strange man was already standing there. He has begun avoiding the peephole in the door in the hopes that I will answer the door when he knocks. My roommate has been instructed to never answer the door if he knocks, and I've informed the other residents on my floor that this man is starting to seriously unnerve me. This man is starting to seriously work on my nerves. A few days later, I was on my way home when I received a text message from someone on my floor, warning me not to go home because Creep was on my floor and was waiting outside my door. At the time, I was riding the bus on my way home. After spending the night at a friend's place, I found out, upon my return, that the stranger waited for me for a total of 4 hours before he finally left. At this point, I was beginning to have feelings of fear. A few days later, he began to wait outside the building's entrance, and if I ever left, he would follow me there. If I left the building, he would follow me there. Instead of being brave enough to tell him to leave, I chose to take a passive attitude toward the situation. Even though I did not answer him or give any indication that I was paying attention, he still followed me everywhere I went. He followed me into the classroom, the cafeteria, and finally into my home, where he attempted to break in. I went to the floor's resident advisor, who is an older student who in essence serves as a watchdog for the floor, and I informed her of what had taken place. She got in touch with the resident advisor on his floor and found out that Creep had been spreading tales among the fellow students there that we were dating and were the best of friends. But they believed him. Fortunately, the fact that I was constantly surrounded by people on my floor frightened him off, and as a result, we were all able to work together to keep him away. If I wanted to go out to eat, I was expected to do so with the other people on my floor. If I wanted a drink, or more than one, I was expected to bring someone else along with me. Groups of students huddled together during every step of the trip to and from school, including the wait for the bus. Putting his foot under the door and opening it. As soon as he closed the door and went to wait for me in the television lounge, I quietly made my way downstairs, all the way around the building, and back up to my room before he discovered I was gone. After that, the phone calls began. I never gave him my phone number, but he nevertheless found a way to get in touch with me and started calling me many times a day, despite the fact that I asked him to refrain from doing so. After that, he began contacting me exactly once per hour of the day, appealing for the opportunity to have a conversation with me. I was unable to use caller ID because of the responsibilities I had at both my school and my part-time job. As a result, I had no choice but to answer each and every call myself. It was already the last day of November, and I was in a complete and utter state. The act of simply getting somewhere, such as a restaurant or a bus stop, frequently needed extensive planning and organization. Because of the pressure I was under, my feelings weren't getting better, and I seemed to be getting sicker by the day. I went back to my resident advisor after the other resident advisor's failures to provide any aid and begged her to help me out of my situation. She went and told the director of the building about the incident. They went to search for the creep, and he told them everything that had happened, and he admitted that he had been following me around for a while because he was curious about where I was. I was in a horrible mood all the time. I have no idea what went down behind closed doors, but he was undoubtedly told to keep his distance from me and threatened with expulsion if he didn't comply with the warning. In one of his emails, he went utterly insane and asked how it was possible for me to treat him the way I had. Because according to him, when we were together, we enjoyed the happiest days of our lives. He couldn't stand the fact that I was seeing other men behind his back. After that, there is nothing left but silence. At first, whenever I saw him on campus, I would immediately run into the closest women's restroom and hide there until he left. Every time I saw him in public or on campus, all he did was gaze at me, with a strange kind of smile on his face. He never said anything, didn't approach me or make any efforts to get my attention when he saw or heard me, not doing anything but staring. In the past, whenever he was looking at me, I would walk by as if I were unaware of his attention and act as if my heart wasn't beating quickly. From one day to another, I have never seen him again. It's strange. I don't trust it. Where did he go? Did he went to another school? Did he even go to my school in the first place? I will never know for sure. But when I am alone in my room or eating in the cafeteria, I still feel being watched. So dear viewers, be careful who you let into your life and always be aware of those around you. And if you enjoyed this creepy tale, make sure to like and subscribe to Dark Tides. Who knows what other horrors we have in store for you.